Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel, and to this video where I'm gonna, as per the title of the video, gonna try out the new products from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I wasn't sure if I was gonna buy these. I actually bought one of each, including the palette. Pretty spontaneous. I was not at first gonna buy this, but then I saw this product, and this is the luminous powder, which is basically like a finishing powder or a setting powder that has a bit of luminosity to it. And I always wanted to try the Lancome powder, but it never came to Sweden and I never saw it in store while traveling, so this is gonna be me trying it. I also feel like, me personally, I never cancel brands. I always give brands a second chance. I didn't try the Jaclyn lipsticks when they launched, and I'm pretty happy I didn't, because I didn't want to be a part of that whole thing. Nobody can argue that that release was a shit show. It was not good. From the release video that wasn't good, to the execution of the collection, and to how the brand itself, like Jaclyn, not only Jaclyn Hill, but the brand itself, Jaclyn Cosmetics, how they handled it. And you know me, I'd rather be naive than cynical, so I always give brands a second chance. And I know she's had a lot of issues with her like collabs before, palette with Becca and also the vault with Morphe. I personally feel that when you're doing a collab, I think sometimes people think that influencers has more to say about things than they do, and I honestly do not think that Jaclyn, for example, had anything to do with the Becca palette being produced in a different factory than the eyeshadow palettes normally, because that was the problem with that palette. I might be wrong, although I do think that her like botched collabs that she's had probably has taught a lot of influencers how to put the fine print and the contract, that they should be able to prove the finished product and not only the prototype, because I think that is somewhat the problem with a lot of things that are being released that are bad. And that was probably the problem with the lipsticks as well, that she approved a prototype, and then when they blew off the production and made it bigger, the production just didn't hold up to that size, because they probably made, and I'm taking a stab in the dark, but they probably made hundreds and thousands of lipsticks. And it's obviously a big problem that the factory wasn't sure that they could produce this many lipsticks, because looking back at it, they couldn't. Because that's when problems start to happen. They couldn't make this kind of production, and they shouldn't promise the brand that they could make this production without issues when they couldn't. It's also a big problem for the brand, of course, not looking more thoroughly into the finished product, because if they did, they would have noticed the problems, because so many people had problems with these lipsticks. And I don't approve with how this all was handled, like the quietness from the brand and all of this. I will say that when I ordered these, I was only gonna buy this at first, but the shade I wanted to buy, I bought Brighten Up, and the shade I wanted to buy, the Do something that looked a bit more yellow, that was sold out, and this was also sold out. But if you bought a bundle with the powder and the bigger brush, it was still available in the Brighten Up, so I was like, you know what, let's just buy it. And then I thought, I bought the bundle with the highlighting powder and the other small brush, and there was also a bundle with this middle brush and the palette. So I was like, let's just buy one of each of the bundles, and then I can actually make a video trying them out, letting you know whether or not I think they're good. Because I'm not going to tell you whether or not I think they're worth picking up, because there are so many like opinions right now about the brand, and I personally, if I wasn't on YouTube, I wouldn't have picked this up, because I would have been like, what if this isn't good? What if this is going to be another botched release? Like, I don't want to put my money to that. But since I am on YouTube and I can make a video, maybe I can help you. Maybe I can show you how these look and let you know whether or not these are good products, and if I like experience any kind of problems with it. Because maybe that will, if some of you are on the fence whether or not you want to try them, maybe this will help. She said this was a limited edition release, but I find that kind of weird. I feel like that is something she is saying, the brand is saying, to be able to pull it back if it doesn't like deliver. So I do think, since this release, from what I've gathered, has sold out 2 times, I'm guessing that I think it's going to be here to stay. I will say it did sell out, and then just a couple of weeks later it came back, and it is possible that they just ordered 2 batches and one of them was just released a bit later, but just say that to customers, because for us customers it just looks like they faked going out of stock. But maybe they did go out of stock and just another batch just came in just after, who knows. But if so, tell the customers, especially when you have a bit of a dodgy reputation like you do right now. Tell the customers so we don't, because finding bad things about Jaclyn Cosmetics right now, it's just low-hanging fruits. They shouldn't be just pulling a low fruit like that, like, oh, we sold out and now it's bad. Like, don't do that. You're making it very easy for people to say like, look how bad that is. I didn't like that. And I'm also gonna mention one more thing that I didn't like, and this, when I picked up my order, I was like, really? And that is that this is how my order came. My order came in 2 boxes. When the lady at the post office was like, oh, this order is 2 boxes, I was like, but it's 3 highlighters and 3 brushes. So it came in 2 big boxes like this, like one big box and then this other big box. And then within these boxes, there were like a million boxes. There were like boxes in boxes in boxes. And while I think that like the bundles coming in these cute boxes, I feel like, oh, that's cute, I guess. And I mean, it's a bit it's a bit luxurious. I got a bad taste in my mouth, like, did they really ship 3 products in 2,757 boxes? Yeah, that needs to be sorted. Someone needs to be on that, because that is not good. So let's talk about the products then. I bought this loose luminous powder. It is a loose powder and I bought mine in Brighten Up. This is a bit of a peachy shade, and I swatched it and it seems to be like just a finishing or a setting powder. It feels like a powder when you touch it, and it's meant to be like more of a peachy shade. I personally would have preferred the yellow shade, but since this isn't it's not meant to be a powder foundation, I still think I can get away with it, because now that I don't have a tan at all, I do have a very neutral undertone, so I do feel like I can get away with it. Then the other loose highlighter, I got it in Balm. I saw the video from Raw Beauty Kristi. She did a great video talking about the controversy and how she feels about the drama and everything, and I thought that video was so fair and so good. I will link it down below if you want to see another opinion about this. You probably already saw it because it has so many views, but it was a great video, and that is the only video that I watched before buying these. Usually I do not watch videos on products before I buy them if I want to like review them, because I don't want to have an opinion about them, but I just wanted to make sure that there were no issues with the release before buying them, and I felt like Kristi would be 100% honest about that. So I watched that video and I felt like, okay, these are at least not a faulty product, so that I can buy them. And I bought the loose highlighter in Balm because I was like, usually this is more of a bronzy gold, and when I got it I was like, ooh, this looks a bit dark, so we're gonna see how this looks on me. But I didn't want to buy the extra one, and after I ordered this I did watch the video with Nikki Tutorials where she used the extra one, because she is more fair than me. And I know that because I've tried all the 6 highlighters that she's had with Ofra, and the one that is meant for a fair skin tone, the really light one, the glazed donut, the one that she uses and looks great on her, it looks bad on me. It looks icy, a white streak. It doesn't look good on my skin tone. So when I saw that the extra one was almost a bit too light or bright even for her, I was like, I'm so happy I didn't buy the lightest one, because it wouldn't have gone with my complexion. So I bought this one, and then I bought the palette because I was like, okay, I'm buying one of each then. And I bought the lighter palette, and this is the Flash palette, and I hate this packaging. It's nice, but it's so heavy. Like, I am the opposite. I want things to be slim and light, and not too light. I don't want it to be like a paper, but I don't like super heavy, and I know people do. So this is just me. I'm not representing everyone. I just like things to be cardboard and slim. This is very reflective as well, and the fingerprints on this packaging is crazy, also on the lids on the powders, but it looks pretty nice. I don't know how I feel about the whole Jaclyn thing here, but I mean, all of this packaging is very on brand with Jaclyn, and it's not really, me and Jaclyn don't really have the same aesthetics when it comes to like what we think is like aesthetically pleasing to look at. So this is not critique, this is just my personal opinion. There's a very nice mirror in here. If you were to bring this, you would be able to do your makeup in this for sure. This is the palette that is made in Italy, and these powders are made in in US. Let me just quickly show you the brushes. I did do close-ups of these brushes, and when you see the close-up, you will see that my little fan brush, the J03, has a loose one. And I should probably remove that because, let me see if I can do that. Because my loose one is actually like attached. Do you see this? Did I get rid of it? No, it's still here. Wow. So it's just that oh, there you go. Okay, I got rid of this. Just one that was just too long. I don't know what happened, but I mean, I removed it now. But other than that, they feel soft. I don't think that these feel like super special, but they do feel nice. Like, again, this isn't my aesthetics with the silver and the that's not who I am. So I can't really talk about like how I feel. That they don't feel luxurious. They look like they would be like a luxury version of Morphe. And that's probably what they are, to be honest. But they don't look bad. They don't look horrible, but they also do not look like a Hakuhodo brush. Let's be honest here. So I'm gonna use the powder. I'm gonna put that on my face, and I'm also gonna be putting one highlighter, the loose, on this, and I'm guessing the palette on the other one. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. I also wanted to mention quickly before I do the highlighters, I wanted to talk a bit about the controversy that I've heard people say. I don't have the lipstick, so I can't compare, with apparently the loose powder and the loose highlighter being made in the same factory as the lipsticks. I'm just gonna say this quickly. I do work a bit with food safety. I've talked about this before on my channel, and things happen with factories sometimes where you have to like either destruct products or pull them back from the market. They didn't do that with the lipsticks, but I'm guessing the rules with lipsticks and like food is not the same, because you actually like eat the food and then you have to process the food through your body. So I'm guessing the rules are a bit different, but I promise you that each and every one of you have, during this week or maybe even yesterday, eaten something that's from a factory or from a distribution like place that has had contaminated products. It happens. The big issue is that nobody noticed it, and of course it is an issue that things get contaminated. They shouldn't be, but usually things like that get noticed. But I also see in my work, I would say like once every 2 weeks, where you have to pull back products or destruct products that has been contaminated in one way or another. And you can't just cancel a whole factory because of that. It's not financially, like, you're not financially able to just burn the whole place down and start with another place. What you have to look at is like what happened to make, like, what happened. Is it a fault in the routines? Is it a fault in the personnel? Is it a fault in the infrastructure, like the actual factory? Usually it is a problem with personnel and or routines, like that the routines are not good enough for this kind of production, or that the personnel was not following the routines. That is usually the problem. And what if that happened to a facility that I was watching, what I would do is that I would be like, so what are you going to do to make sure that this never happens again? And they either have to change off the routines or educate the personnel, or maybe, I'm guessing that the lipsticks, that maybe you're not able to make this many at a time. So what do you need to do to be able to do that? Maybe parts of a machine needs to be changed or fixed, or like you have to change them, like get rid of them and get new. I don't know the word for that in English. I'm so sorry. And that is also a fault in the routine. Like, how often do you check your machinery? Maybe it isn't good enough when you're making this many lipsticks. Maybe you need to up that. So usually it is fault in the routine, but that doesn't mean that I would never trust that factory again. It just means that I will keep a closer eye on them to make sure that they're actually now having better routines and following them. And this isn't me defending Jaclyn Cosmetics, saying like this is why they went with the same factory again. This is me saying that maybe this factory did present a kind of a solution for Jaclyn Cosmetics that made them feel like it was okay to use them again. And maybe they didn't. I don't know. I'm just saying that just because a factory had a problem once, it could actually mean that they will never have that problem again. Who knows? We never know what's going on behind the scenes, and sometimes I wish that we did. Wouldn't it have been amazing to get a Shane Dawson? Don't tell him I don't even know his name. A Shane Dawson documentary on what went wrong with the Jaclyn launch and how they went forward, because I'm not a fan of Jaclyn. I used to be. I'm not also not hating her. I'm not on the hate trend. I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland. That's what I am right now. And it's not like I'm rooting for her, but also I never want to see anyone fail. I will never root for anyone to fail, but it would be interesting to know what's going on. And I will say that if something like that happened to me, I'm just dipping my brush in this. If something like that happened to me, and I cannot tell you that I would get up and just try again. I can't promise you that I would do that because I might just delete my channel and escape this planet. Not gonna lie. Let me zoom you in, and we can. Okay, so this is the finishing powder in the. I don't know if I like this brush for this kind of a product. I feel like it almost disrupts like my foundation. Let me see if I can. Don't know how I feel about this brush, not gonna lie. Okay, let me just got a bit more powder out in the cap here. So let's see if we can, because I like to be a bit dewy here. Oh, now I got a lot. Maybe that's nice though. And over here, I don't have any highlighter on at all. Okay, that is a nice subtle glow, together with my very subtle eye makeup, obviously. I love that like Kristi went on and did this video with such a neutral brown look to not like take focus from the highlighters, and I'm like, hi! That's how I roll on my channel. And I also like some on the nose, on my chin, and just like everywhere, I guess. I like to be glowing. Okay, I like this a bit better when I went and just fine, but I don't know how I feel about this brush. I don't think that this is the brush that I'm gonna be using for this kind of powder, but it looks really pretty and it looks healthy and somewhat glowy, because I had a matte bronzer and a matte blush on before, so I didn't have any kind of glow. Looks okay. I think I'm gonna like this. I'm really happy to have a powder like this to try. And it's kind of a lot of product in this one. 10 grams. I feel like that is quite a lot, so I'll be able to use that quite a lot. I'll let you know in the future like how I really feel about it, but just now I really like how this looks. It gives us a subtle sheen where I put it on, so I really feel like I could really probably go in across my entire face with this, and I would probably like it. So let me start with the loose highlighter. This is the Balm one. Maybe I should try this time and just get a little out. You can see how fingerprinted this get. Maybe you can't. Oh yeah, you can see there. It's just, you just have to think about touching this and it looks gross. Okay, so now I got a bit more product out. I'm kind of worried. And I'm gonna use the brush that came in the bundle. I'll put the prices down below on what I've paid, because obviously I bought these myself and I got them shipped to Sweden. The shipping was really slow, but I mean, maybe that was because they took 200 hours to pack, because it was 200 like boxes. I'm gonna put that on this cheek. So this is the Balm one. I'm kind of worried that this is gonna be, no, this seems like a good color. I don't know how I feel about this brush, but this is a good, you know, okay, personal preference. I don't like highlighters that are lighter than my skin tone. I just want to have a glowy skin. I don't want the highlighter to actually make my skin look lighter, because I don't like that look on me. Okay, maybe I do like this brush. I think that this brush, now I'm just all over the place. Wait, let me see if I can fix this with a bit of, so I don't have it too, okay. I feel like with this brush, it's probably going to be too intense if you use a highlighter that is too light for your skin tone, because then it's just going to leave a streak, I think. But I will say that I kind of like this with this highlighter. This is pretty. Okay, I like that. That really makes my skin looks grammar out the window. It makes my skin look very dewy and just like wet, which is something that I like. I really like this brush over here for like detailed work. Okay. Okay, I like that. What do you think about that one? That one, I was worried that this color was going to be too dark for me, but I actually really like it. So if you are also of a light skin tone, I am of a light skin tone, I'm not fair. I don't think that this color would work for a fair, but it comes off, as you can see, lighter on the skin than this here, because this really does melt into my skin. So if you are my skin color or maybe even a medium, I think that this one would be a good color for you. If you are fair, I would say go with the extra one. I think that that won't be too light for me. I really like that. I bet I could really pack that on if I tried. Maybe I should try. Just really like get in there. Yeah, I can really pack this on. Okay. Well, I like that. That is pretty. That is prettier than I thought it was gonna be. And there's no glitter particles. It just looks like not a glow from within, because it's more like than a glow from within, but it looks really wet and dewy, and it has the same like tone of, the undertone is the same as like my skin. I cannot speak. Now let me do the palette. I haven't swatched this. I did film this eye look, by the way. I filmed it for Instagram. I tend to film my looks for Instagram, so if you want to see this look, it's coming soon on my Instagram. I will have that link down below. So let me just see if I can swatch these and we can see what they look like. I was wondering if this gleam would be too light for me. Yeah, probably. Or for my preference, I would say. So this is the gleam one, this is the lightest one, and it's just, I think that if you're fair, you're gonna love this. I think I'm gonna have to mix that to make it work on my skin tone. I think that I'm gonna get most use of the three last ones. I really like the shade, like the mesmerized one. I think that looks really pretty. It looks a bit like Ofra's Bali. That has the same tone as Ofra's Bali, like a golden peach. I think I'm really gonna like that when I have a bit of a tan. They don't feel like wet or like creamy. They feel like a very finely milled powder. Oh my god, these pants needs to be washed now. I think I'm gonna use Sparks. The one that is a bit goldy down here. I think I'm gonna use that one up here, and maybe I'll use a bit of Mesmerized. Okay, I'm using the mid brush. Maybe I'll start with Mesmerized, which is the darkest shade. I'm picking that up on this brush, and I think I'm just gonna hit my apples with that one. Ooh. That also, it looks a bit like this one, but this one has a bit of a warmer, peachier tone. Looks really, really, really pretty, I have to say. That looks very stunning, and it blended in really pretty. Okay, now I'm gonna use the Sparks. So I've been using this one, the darkest one, and now I'm gonna use this one, the Sparks. This is the one that looks like a vanilla shade. Looks like a very, very pale gold. These are really pretty. I think that these are the kind of highlighters that you could probably really make super like beaming. Also, if you use a bit of setting spray. That is super pretty though. That is more, this one looks more like wet, like skin-like on me, and this one looks more like a highlighter, but it looks very pretty, and both of these shades work on my skin tone. And I think that this shade would also work if you are lighter, and I think the Mesmerized, the darkest, would definitely work if you are like me and you tan very easily, because I tan very easily in the summer, and you could probably use that one if you have a bit of a tan as well. Okay, I really like that. Let's try and spray our face a little bit and see if we can. This sprayer isn't my favorite. It's the indie spray. I don't like the sprayer on it. It's weird. Okay, let me see if I just use a bit more of the Sparks. Oh yeah, you could. Oh my god. I'm actually going out shopping for Christmas gifts after this. I don't know why I picked this makeup look with this blinding highlighter. That is not smart. And I'm not even going to have the same highlighter on both. So I'm using the loose one again. Let's see if we can build on this one as well when we have a bit of setting spray. This doesn't build as easily as the other one. So even though this is a loose one, it comes off more skin-like, which is, I like that. So I'm not mad about that at all. I do feel like though that I want to go in and just, I am going out, like I said, Christmas shopping. So I think I'm gonna use a bit of try to even out the sides a bit so I don't look like an idiot going out, which, I mean, that ship has sailed, but one can hope. Just trying to even out the sides. And obviously have way too much highlighter on. Let me zoom this out a bit again. Okay, so how do I feel about this? I feel like it's delivering what it's promising to deliver, and I will say it looks really pretty on the skin. This looks a bit like what an Ofra highlighter would look like on your skin. I think that this feels a bit like the Ofra highlighters as well. I feel like when you use an Ofra highlighter though, you pick up more with your brush than you do with this one, and that is probably because this might be more tightly pressed when baked, because this is a baked formula. But I do feel like the result I get is somewhat in the neighborhood. Maybe this is a bit more skin-like because the Ofra one can build up and be almost too much too easy, but I will say that they do remind me a bit of how the Ofra ones feel, and they are also a baked formula. When it comes to this one, I don't really know. I don't have anything to compare this to because I have never used a product like this, but I do know that Lancome has a shimmering like highlighty finishing powder. I also know that Cover FX has one. I also know that Laura Mercier has one, and I cannot compare this to anything because this is the first one that I've tried. But if you have a favorite, do let us know down in the comments, because maybe I want to try a similar one. When it comes to this one, I do feel, and let me look how this looks. Do feel like I get a similar result with the, even this is the Luster Dust from Colourpop in Keke. For me, this gives a similar color and a similar result. And a factory in the US that makes lipsticks and loose highlighters. Maybe the factory Jaclyn is using is the Colourpop one. I don't think it is. But, well, these are very similar in how they feel, not gonna lie. This one also has a very shimmery formula. This one might be a little more glittery though, which is usually how loose highlighters are, and maybe Jaclyn chose to not do it like that. I've heard though that the Kylie loose highlighters are really nice and very blinding. Those are also made in the same factory as Colourpop. I've only tried one color, so I don't really know, but that Keke one, if you wanted to have a similar result to this and you have a similar skin tone to mine, I do feel like the Keke one gives a very similar skin-like glowy result, but the Keke one has slightly more shimmery particles to it. This one is more like just wetness. And yeah, the Ofra highlighters are very similar. I would say that if you get like this one in color do remind me a lot of the Bali one, and I do feel like that if you got Glazed Donut, you would probably get a similar color to this one, the Gleam one, because that is very light. I don't have that anymore because I gave it to my friend because it was way too light for me. The brushes, I do like these two. I think I prefer my normal highlighting brush though, the Sigma, this one, the FO3 High Cheekbone, because this one is a bit softer and more flimsy, and I like a highlighting brush that is a bit more stiff and firm so that I can really pack it on. It did give a really good result though, but that's just personal preference. If you like the Morphe M5010, I think it's called, you probably like this one as well. This is more like a glamorous version of that one that's also a bit pinched, so it's like a mix. So mix between this one and the M501. So if you thought that this one was too stiff for you, maybe you'd like that one. Didn't like this more than I thought I would, so I'm actually happily like surprised by this. I never liked the big fan brushes, but this small detail one, I could get on board with that, not gonna lie. I don't know how I feel about this one though. I really liked the powder. I thought it was a good powder, but I don't know if I liked it with this because I want to go like this, and I felt like the surface like this was a bit too scratchy to use like a finishing powder, because I want this surface to be softer so I don't disrupt what's going on underneath when I go over with that last finishing powder step. So probably will be using this brush but not with this powder. Let me know if you want me to include these products in an upcoming like review roundup. I'm gonna use these a bit more and let you know how I feel about them. And yeah, I think that was gonna be everything. You are absolutely free to disagree with me with anything that goes on my channel. Just keep it civil. I feel like if you put yourself on the internet, you should be open to listen to constructive criticism. I don't think that every criticism that is put out on the internet is constructive though, so try and keep it civil. I don't want to have a world war down in my comments, and let me know how you feel. I truly want to know how you feel, but try and keep it civil. Like, we're adults here. Let's do some adulting. And that was everything. I hope to see you tomorrow for another video. I think I'm having either my Black Friday haul or my liquid lipstick declutter. Either one of those is coming tomorrow. I don't know which one I'm putting up first, but there's going to be a video tomorrow and it's going to be either one of those two. Thank you for watching and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!